Now in this track and trade trading training video, I want to take the same scenario, the same trade, and let's add a few features to it. Let's add a little bit to it. The first thing I want to do is I want to talk about stop orders. Now remember the saying, the old adage, cut your losses short, let your winners run. Well, the only time that we have the opportunity to cut our losses short is when we first get into the market. So we have to hold our stops very close or relatively close so that if the market does come against us, we can cut our losses short. So let's go ahead and look at a scenario where we might be able to do that using the bulls and bears. So let's step the market forward. We got our buy signal, just like in the previous video. We're going to come in here, we're going to place our order just like we did before. We're going to buy one, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to confirm that and step the market forward, and we're into the market. So now we need to decide where we're going to place our stop order. Now we have multiple locations that we can place our stop order, and I'm going to show you each one of the locations, and then you can decide for yourself which one works into your trading strategy or your risk tolerance better, and I'll show you the ones that I like the best. But the first place is behind the entry point or behind the low of the price bar in which we got into the market. Now, when I do that, it's because this market has moved quite significantly higher. And generally, if this is a longer price bar and the price bar is closed a little bit closer to the top of the market, I'll put it right behind the entry price bar. But generally, more typically, I'll put my stop behind the previous price bar, which is the first green price bar. That's where I like to put my stop. The traditional area is behind the first yellow price bar, and that's a good spot too, depending, again, on the risk versus reward ratio and how much money you're willing to risk. And then there's some other spots that we'll talk about in just a minute. So let's go ahead and place a stop order. Let's place our stop order just behind the first green price bar. And we're going to put that sell one stop. We're just getting in with one contract or one lot. And let's go ahead and hit confirm. And we're going to step the market forward. And now, as that market moves forward and back against us once again, we can actually move our stop up and slide that up to take advantage of these different market movements. So we're protecting ourselves against having a loss or taking too big of a loss, and this is how we want to protect ourselves against a loss. Now as that market starts to move forward, I like to move my stop forward. Once I get it to break even, and that's my initial goal, I want to get my order to break even. Once I get my order to break even, and I can be pretty aggressive moving that up to break even, I can wipe the sweat off my brow, and at that point I can let the market kind of start to move, because I'm not going to risk a whole lot of money, right? It would be a scratch trade if it came back against me at this point. I'm not risking any of my initial capital. So now I can let that market move back a little bit and give it some room to grow. We know that markets move in waves, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So we have to give it the opportunity to make some moves like that, and then start to advance once again. So now it's made a nice little area of resistance. We can move our stop up a little bit closer, and now locking in a little bit of profit. So now this trade is actually profitable because we've actually locked in the difference between where we'd get out if the market came against us and where we got in. So we've got a profitable trade. So now as that market continues to move in waves, moves back and forth, we can then move our stop up and lock in additional profit. And so that's how we would use a stop loss order and an entry point with the bulls and bears.